Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:35 and Stone Temple Pilots with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. So the weather today appears to be on its way to be looking terrible. Snow this morning, probably starting a little bit after 6 o'clock, between 6 and 7. Turning to sleet and freezing rain by this afternoon. 3 to 5 inches of snow and ice are expected, with a high of 30. Tonight, cloudy, but then clearing late, low at 29. And for tomorrow, partly cloudy and a high of 36. It's cold enough right now on Rock 102. You know what? Listen, many kids don't have school today. Many of you probably be working from home. It's a perfect day to listen to the show and also win tickets to see the Springfield Thunderbirds. It's a Thunderbird Thursday. We have tickets to Saturday's sold-out Springfield Isotopes game against the Providence Bruins. Plus, not only the 4-pack of tickets, but the 4-pack of koozies, the 4 hats, and what have you. So make sure you're listening for that. Plus, Joe Bonamassa is coming to Foxwoods on March 1st. We got tickets to that show coming up later on this morning, too. Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Hey, it's Pat Kelly, and I want you to win my camping gear. Rock 102 has teamed up.
Rock, it's 5:49 and Journey with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Well, pretty quiet right now, but going to see some snow accumulation and then some ice on top of that. Like a nice candy coating to top it all off. 4 to 6 inches possible throughout the Pioneer Valley. And then ice to follow with a high of 30 today. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 35. It's 16 right now in downtown Springfield.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by the Western Mass Masons. Call them for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Well, even less reason to watch the Super Bowl because more ads dropped yesterday. Is there anything going to be, not shown before the big day?
Yeah, the outcome.
No, that's already been written in the script. I'm talking about the commercials.
Yeah, but you don't know what the script is. They're not going to tell you in advance.
We know what the script is. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to win, and Taylor Swift is going to get proposed to on the 50-yard line by Travis Kelce after he thanks God and Andy Reid and her.
That's what you're going with. I picked the opposite. I picked the under.
Well, I pick whoever is the favorite for Vegas. Because that's the one that's going to lose.
Yeah, in this case, it's the referees.
Mountain Dew turns seal into an actual seal.
Really?
Seems obvious now that somebody's finally done that. Becky G is in the ad, too. It's for a whole thing of Mountain Dew, and seal is a seal.
That's fantastic.
And what's weirder than that? How about Shania Twain as a singing tongue in this year's Coffee Mate ad?
You know, if you had told me that her tongue would be singing to me back in the 80s, I might have been interested in this.
Yeah. They have Coffee Mate cold foam now.
Yeah, no, it's you don't need that.
You know, we got those Coffee Mate things up in the break room up there that have been there since 2004, I believe.
They're a little past due, but I don't even know if they go rotten.
Yeah, they're like the cockroach of creamers.
They cannot be destroyed.
A nuclear blast could go off, and those Coffee Mate creamers would still be intact. Wayne Brady is going to wing it during the Super Bowl for Purdue Chicken. He's doing a series of live performances on Instagram during the game based on viewer suggestions.
Wayne Brady.
Yeah.
Perfect choice.
What has he been doing lately?
Not much. Getting ready for this.
I mean, he was doing that game show a long time ago, and then that went off the air.
I believe he's now the star of Whose Unemployment Check Is It Anyway?
Tim Robinson, and that's a good show. I like that one.
That's a good one.
Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson from I Think You Should Leave and the Detroiters say goodbye to their alien friend Chasmo in an ad for Totino's Pizza Rolls. Just what everybody wanted. Channing Tatum returns to his Magic Mike roots for Stoke Cold Brew Coffee. Or Stook. What is it? Stook?
Stock, I think.
Yeah, but it's got the line over the O. Isn't that a ooh?
The umlaut?
Yeah, it's a line.
Or a stock.
No, the umlaut would be stock. This is just a line.
I don't know. And you know what? He's not going to make me be the thing that forces me into buying it.
Well, you never know. Tom Brady wouldn't mind it if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl just because it's nice to see someone else get all the hate. But he says, quote, "To be in this country and to not cheer for excellence is beyond me."
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
I've never wanted two teams to lose more than this one.
Yeah. Speaking of Tom's excellence, Gisele Bundchen and her boyfriend Joaquin Valente welcomed their first child. No word on the actual birth date or the sex of the child. Gisele also has 2 kids with Tom Brady.
Tom must have had something to say.
Well, I never got that down and dirty with your new wife, Gisele, dude, Joaquin.
Now, is this the...
But I once gave her the Patriot pigskin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we went down yardage.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, this is the jiu-jitsu instructor?
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about striking the jackpot.
I guess so.
A woman who's worth billions of dollars. And you just have to be there.
Yeah, but you know what? She's got her own money. She doesn't care. It's not about
her.
No.
It's all about him. He struck the jackpot.
Yeah, he did, but how do you know he's getting any of the money? He's probably just still being a jiu-jitsu guy.
Even if he's living in her guest house, like in the pool house, that's good enough.
Bill Burr called Howie Mandel a Hollywood whore last week for catching him off guard by bringing out his alleged half-brother Billy Corgan during a podcast interview, while Howie has since issued an apology on Tuesday's episode of the podcast. I want to apologize. I feel horrible. I'm sorry, Bill. I'm sorry, Billy. I'm only trying to do something good. I legitimately thought I was doing something nice. I swear to you, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, well, maybe, Howie, you should have cleared it with everybody before you ambushed the whole damn family.
Howie also said he texted Burr after the incident, and he never got a reply.
I think it's a total D-bag move. I saw it. I watched the video. I felt bad for both Billy and Bill. The two Billies.
Well, Howie got his 15 minutes of refame again.
I don't know how.
They need to bring back Bobby's World. I think that'll take care of everything.
I don't even know if he can do the voice anymore.
You think so? Or is he?
Yeah, he's like almost a 70-year-old man by now?
Well, I mean, you get
vocal cords ain't what they used to be.
AI can do it for you now. Black Sabbath's reuniting for one last show this summer. Didn't they say that the last 10 years in a row?
Yes.
And at this time, it's the full-on original band. Ozzy, Tony, Geezer, and Bill.
And Bill Ward?
Yeah, who was not part of the last reunion.
That's cool.
The last time the original lineup performed together was 20 years ago at Ozfest back in 2005. The show is set for July 5th in Birmingham, England, and they won't be alone. This is going to be a huge metal show featuring Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Mastodon, Hailstorm, Alice in Chains, Lamb of God, and Anthrax. Wow, 1986 is back, bro. Yeah, I don't really even see the value in watching these bands perform in their geriatric years.
Listen, people love Black Sabbath, and isn't it just nice to see these 4 guys get off their walkers and play a couple of tunes?
Remember we
as opposed to not playing in the afternoon at the home.
Remember we had that guy buying everybody tickets to the Rolling Stones?
Yes.
Wow, gotta get those.
Oh yeah. Wow, I'm sure that was fantastic.
There'll also be additional performances from Tom Morello, Billy Corgan. I wonder if Bill Burr will be there.
I don't think so.
Wolfgang Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, Ghost / Fred Durst, and Lizzie Hale, and more. Wow, I can't wait.
Can't believe Fred Durst got an invitation.
Well, he's the younger generation compared to these guys.
He's 57 years old.
Yeah, I know. He's got to help these guys up on stage. It's like helping your dad in a walker.
He's now a caregiver.
Yeah, he is. Who's going to change the diapers? Fred Durst can do it. Kim Kardashian is being urged by her friends to get more dogs in her life so she's not so stressed.
Really? Or is that something to say?
Oh, my God. The last time I had this much doggy was when Ray J used me like a Canadian ox cart in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95.
Caitlin?
Well, I never got that down and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but I once ostrich munched in the mud pile. A little backwoods feast meat.
Really?
Uh-huh. I fell face first into the Picasso squatty nacho. Did you ever have a Picasso, I can't even say it. Picasso squatty nacho. No, why do I sound like Steve Nagle when I'm talking about this?
I have no idea. What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is I gave her the greasy pillow 5 o'clock shadow. Maybe she's born with it.
I don't know if she is.
Maybe it's my bejeans. And that, your Hollywood Trash Rock.
Environmental nonprofit Ocean River Institute is working with communities to
Now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of happy with the NFL just as it is. They don't need to make the games any more interesting. There's no need for expansion. They don't need to dink around with the schedule. They just need to stay in their lane and do what they do. And that is to provide 17 weeks of thrilling football excitement that entices the never-ending flow of reportable revenue. And that's it. Yesterday, just as the NFL Players Association announced their stand against Roger Goodell's desire to expand the season to an 18-game schedule, the NFL announced that they have added a game to the 2026 schedule that will be played in Australia. This is an idea that's been floated around for some time now. However, yesterday it was announced that the LA Rams will be the host of that game in Melbourne, Australia, 7,946 miles away from SoFi Stadium, where they play all their other home games. The date, time, and who the Rams will play that day has yet to be determined, but what I can promise you is this. No matter who they play and when, there is almost nothing worse than trying to figure out the 19-hour-long time delay between Melbourne and Los Angeles, apart from trying to figure out the 16-hour-long delay between Melbourne and here. Check this out. For us to watch that game at 1 o'clock on a Sunday, kickoff in Australia would have to start at 5 a.m. on Monday. Pow! Think about that for a moment. Now, nobody in Australia is going to watch a football game at 5 a.m., but if they move it to 1 p.m. on a Sunday in Australia, you wouldn't see that game until 9 p.m. the previous day. Well, folks, I got plans that night. Even if I don't have anything else going on, I'll find something. Because the last thing I need in my life is to manage unsolvable puzzles that require a proper understanding of time. And this sort of international nonsense is not the answer for me any more than adding one more game home, which I don't think should happen either. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by, Rocky's Ace Hardware, the Craftsman 47-piece driver bit set from Rocky's. Look, I'm no tool expert, but I gotta think a 47-piece set has every driver bit you're ever gonna need. Get it now for only $15 at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 6:11 in Boston with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be, cloudy right now, but then snow's going to start around after, 7 or 8 o'clock, and then after 4 to 6 inches of that falls, then we'll have a nice candy coating glaze to go over the top of that. There is a winter weather advisory in effect for all of western Massachusetts until 7 p.m. tonight. Mixed precipitation, total sleet and snow accumulations between 1 and 4 inches. 1 and 4 inches. And ice accumulations around an inch. Ooh.
Well, it's going to be a real mess out there today, so be careful.
Plan on slippery road conditions. The hazardous conditions could impact the Thursday morning and evening commutes. Snow is expected to overspread the region between 7 to 11 a.m., The snow will then change to a mixture of sleet and freezing rain as the day wears along. Mixed precipitation may change to all rain before near and especially the southeast of Boston to the Providence corridor. So if you're going out that way. And that means that the $20 dinner and a comedy show has been postponed until February 20th.
This is an outrage.
So if you paid me Venmo, I tried to notify everybody on there, but if you didn't get that message, you can either get a refund or I can just hold on to your ticket money until the 20th. But either way, I can do that very quickly if you just let me know.
Don't worry about a refund. You know what? Just, you got, what do you got, like 14 days?
Well, I mean, there's people who live paycheck to paycheck, too. So
I know, but you hold on to like the $20, okay? And you put it in a drawer. And then on the 20th, 14 days from today, you say, I'm going to go to that comedy show at the shortstop because I was going to go on the 6th. That didn't happen. I'll just rearrange my schedule. Everyone's got plenty of time. Lots of heads up to make arrangements.
I made that argument yesterday online. So I said, about giving a refund. And somebody was like, well, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you shouldn't be going to $20 dinner and a comedy shows. Because people who live paycheck to paycheck don't deserve any fun. They don't deserve to have any pleasure in their life.
They got nothing to laugh at.
Yeah, so, I agree with you, comrade.
Yesterday we're talking about the Super Bowl yesterday, doing some prop bets.
Yeah.
Talking about that. We were having a discussion at home the other day about the Super Bowl, what kind of snacks we wanted to make. What kind of really unhealthy, fatty, greasy foods we wanted to stuff down our pie holes.
Yeah.
For Super Bowl Sunday. So I went online and just to get a couple of ideas, because you like to have some ideas. And then I run into this list. I can't even believe that someone actually sat down to do this. The 45 healthy Super Bowl snacks that keep you feeling like a winner on game day. Healthy snacks for the Super Bowl. It is the most un-American thing I've ever heard in my life.
What, healthy snacks?
Who wants to have healthy snacks on Super Bowl Sunday? It's one day out of the year you don't eat well, and that's the best part of it.
I get that, but there are people out there who shouldn't be eating.
It's one day. I mean,
one day
come
turns
on.
into 10. Then you get all this leftovers, and then you're eating queso dip for a week.
Fried buffalo artichoke hearts.
Actually, those don't sound too bad.
Okay, let me keep going on then.
You ever have the tavern over in Westfield?
Yeah.
They have artichoke francaise.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, it's like the lemony buttery sauce with the artichokes fried like it would be chicken.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty good.
That's great if I want to go to a restaurant and have a healthy meal. But Super Bowl Sunday, I don't want to have anything that's good for me, like crispy Parmesan broccoli stem fries.
All right, I can actually live with that.
You can? Pimento cheese stuffed mini peppers?
That actually sounds pretty good. What are you talking about? You're like poo-pooing on this stuff, and it doesn't sound that bad.
Everything I'm talking about here, Steve, is like a vegetable. Do you know what vegetables are?
Yeah.
Vegetables are things that grow in the ground. That is the toilet for animals.
How
you
ha-
realize this?
how ha-
They're growing in the ground in dirt with bacteria and the fecal matter from furry woodland creatures.
Yeah,
Do you realize that's what grows in the ground?
Yeah, I'd rather have the fecal matter come from the meat instead.
Veggie peel chips. This is the stuff
what
that
is
you would
that?
normally put in the garbage. And now they want you to deep fry it and have it in a dip.
Yeah, I think you're overreacting to this.
Cool Ranch zucchini chips. Who'd want to put that in their mouth?
I'd like a fried zucchini.
Air fryer everything bagel avocado fries. All right, I've had enough of this. This is an outrage.
That actually sounds pretty good. What are you talking about?
I want chicken that has been deep fried twice. I want pizzas. I want chips. I want fatty, high dairy volume dips. I mean, those are the kinds of things that Americans should be eating on a Super Bowl Sunday. There's 364 other days to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Sunday night is not that day. Everything that my wife and I talked about, we know is not good for us. But it's a special day. It's Super Bowl. We should all be unhealthy.
Well, then just be unhealthy. You don't have to follow that guideline.
I'm not following. I'm just surprised that people are actually going out of their way to make these kinds of decisions.
Well, here's a decision I know you don't drink this kind of beer, but Anheuser-Busch wants stores and restaurants to stop using the term domestic beer and start saying American beer instead. Their CEO sent a memo to distributors arguing that American is a much stronger adjective. Isn't this company owned by a Swede? Isn't this a Swedish company now? I think they sold to a Swedish company about 10 years ago.
You might be right.
So how are you going to say this is American beer when it's not even controlled by an American?
That's a very good point. And you know what? Is there anyone that doesn't understand that when we talk about domestic beer, it is saying American? Do you feel any differently because you said American rather than domestic? Where else is a domestic beer going to come from? From an international company.
A police report of somebody who drank enough American beer.
Usually the police reports don't specify the kind of beer.
That's where the American turns into the domestic.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Uh-huh. The last week when I was watching all these things about the possible tariffs on Canada, there was this Canadian guy goes, "Hey, listen, because you can't buy, you weren't going to be able to buy American beer anymore in Canada." And he's like, "If you really want an American beer, just drink a Canadian beer and wait."
Well, Molson
Yeah.
is owned by Coors, which is an American company.
Yeah.
Right? It's Coors Molson, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, they do have slightly better beer up in Canada, but,
Well,
I don't think anyone's going to. I don't think there's a lot of people in Canada, dying for a Coors.
But I don't think Americans drink beer for the taste or the,
The craft beer people do.
the craft snobs. The ones
it's
who,
also to show everybody, hey, everybody, I'm drinking craft beer.
the ones who pretend they know what they're talking about, but they have no idea what they're talking about.
It's hard to know what you're talking about when your head's in a toilet.
I told you I was the guy who walk into one of them breweries and be like, "What's the most alcohol by volume? I'll take 6 of those, please." I mean, you have to finance it on your credit card.
4.9%,
Yeah.
please.
Come on.
That's for amateurs.
Give me that 14.2. That
Twice.
double IPA or whatever the hell you got over there. I know it tastes like dragon's ass, but
The only ass that'll be dragging is yours the next day.
Well, that's exactly what I'm getting at. You're dragging your ass across the floor after you drink quite a few of those beers. But
I mean, is anyone really fooled though by the splitting of hairs between American and domestic? Does that make anybody feel any differently about the beer you're
I think
drinking?
most people care.
No one cares. It's all marketing. It's like,
No, this is like one of those pound your chest moments. We're gonna call it American beer. It still tastes like piss, but we're gonna call it American beer, even though we're a Swedish company.
yeah. So when you're throwing up in your toilet later on, you can say "Go America" and then flush.
Well, remember when Burger King came out with Freedom Fries?
Right.
They're still the same shiznitty fries that nobody really cared about. Oh yeah, I'm going to Burger King for some Freedom Fries. No, you're still gonna yeah. What's your freedom? Your freedom to use any bathroom to expel those Freedom Fries?
You're still exposed to their monarchy over there.
Yeah, Budweiser already uses the slogan "Great American Lager," but this guy wants stores and restaurants to stop using domestic for any beer made in the U.S.
All right. Well, good luck with all that.
Well, I mean, again, it's just a stupid marketing thing.
Well, that's just it,
Yeah,
and it won't stick.
It'll stick with a finite number of people.
I suppose.
I don't know. I want to get into.
I'm going to drink nothing but King Cobra because it's American.
Yeah, Kim Cobra, Colt 45, Steel Reserve.
It's right. Those are the good malt liquors made right here in the good old USA.
My wife's uncle used to drink Steel Reserve. That was his. That was his go-to relax drink.
That really does make you wind down.
There was nothing really relaxing about it. He'd still get up and yell and scream and curse everybody and tell them to get off his lawn.
My cirrhosis is so bad it's all red, white, and blue.
Yeah, that's right. So maybe you can call it domestic and it'll change everything.
It's 6:22 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Are you replacing an old appliance or
6:31 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Yankee Home Improvement. Breaking news: homeowners are saving big on windows and showers. Call Yankee Home today and don't miss out. His local radio icon, Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Max. There are many closings throughout the area. You can go to your local news website and find a list of all of them up there. They're preparing for this major winter storm that is coming our way, 1 to 4 inches. But it's not so much about the snow. It's about the ice that comes after it and then the rain on top of that.
Yeah. So like the kids could probably get to school,
right,
but it would be dangerous for them to get on the bus to come back home.
Right. So they pretty much canceled school for all of Western Mass. But make sure you're checking with your local school district to make sure that you got the right information, because I'm not the guy to get that from.
No, but you should also know that here at Rock 102, Rocky's Ace Hardware is your winter storm headquarters before and after the storm.
There you go.
Prepare yourselves for that.
3 people were arrested in Springfield Tuesday morning. Actually, it was noontime. Tuesday noontime.
Around lunch.
For allegedly dealing drugs to people who are recovering from addiction. Well, that's not something you want to do.
Well, but it is an active clientele.
Police were called to Hayward Street for a drug complaint at 12 p.m. Officers learned that several people in a pickup truck were allegedly selling drugs. The driver, identified as 48-year-old Orlando Navarro Borges of Springfield. Oh, Victor Borges is a kid, right?
I wonder if anyone ever calls him Gorgeous Borges.
You are a gorgeous Borges.
I would call him that.
Was found trying to conceal cocaine. Officers also recovered heroin from the front seat passenger, identified as Christine Hernandez of Springfield. The rear seat passenger, 49-year-old Francisco Semprit Ramos of Springfield, was also detained. Inside the truck, officers reportedly found cocaine, crack cocaine, and heroin packaged for sale, along with a large-capacity firearm, several Massachusetts DTA cards, credit cards, and debit cards belonging to people who were other people who were also recovered. What? Belonging to other people. Oh, that was also recovered in the car.
Right.
All three faced numerous drug-related charges. Navarro Gorgeous Borges, has also been charged with several gun and motor vehicle-related charges. Police noted that Semprit Ramos allegedly also had an outstanding warrant for disorderly conduct, assault and battery on a police officer, resisting arrest, and 2 counts of attempting to commit a crime, while Hernandez reportedly had 2 outstanding warrants, one on an assault and battery on a person over 60 years old, and the other on drug charges and battery with a dangerous weapon.
Now, you might think that selling drugs to people who are walking out of their recovery meetings is like going after the low-hanging fruit. And maybe it is somewhat unethical on a business level. But still, if you have product to sell, I think every good businessman will tell you, you want to location. Listen, you want to be where your customers are.
It's good marketing. It's the same reason why somebody would put a Burger King outside of a Weight Watchers. You know you're going to get them fat slobs when they come out of that place. I don't know how many points is a big one. How many points is a Whopper?
Yeah, there used to be Weight Watchers right next to the Old Country Buffet.
Yeah,
in the Riverdale shops.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely most brilliant thing ever.
Because of its drugs are illegal narcotics. This is where it makes it bad, as opposed to legal things like a Weight Watchers is allowed to operate a business, and so was the Old Country Buffet. Yet they're two things. There's the Old Country Buffet could be seen as a bad thing.
Well, I mean, if you're counting points.
That's what I'm saying.
I could blast off about 9,000 points in an hour at the Old Country Buffet.
I don't know how different that is. More than 1 million people had their personal information compromised in a massive healthcare data breach. The Community Health Center said that exactly 1,008,519 people, to be exact, in Connecticut were impacted by a nationwide data breach, which affects a total of 1,060,930, I don't know, whatever. A lot of people. The Attorney General says patients had their vaccination records, Social Security numbers, and possible treatment, testing, and insurance information compromised. Over 4,000 workers were affected by this. They say it happened back in October, and this was all discovered on January 2nd, and they're just hearing about it now.
Well, I mean, it's taken over a month for them to figure out to answer. What do we do now?
Yeah, everyone who was impacted by the breach will be notified by the agency, and patients will also receive 24 months of credit monitoring at no cost. What a great consolation prize for somebody who mishandles your information.
Yeah, my credit score may have gone down to 50, but I feel so much better knowing that it'll now be closely monitored by the government.
Here's some good news. One young student held a fundraiser for an organization in our area. It's all to support those who are food insecure in our region. That student is a third grader at the Willie Ross School for the Deaf, and she decided to raise money for the Open Pantry in Springfield. 9-year-old Anaya Corchado designed and created 3D printed items to sell, including small plaques with the letters WRSD in English and sign language. She also created pins with the ASL sign for I love you. We sold them. We went to and bought food to give to the poor, she says. Corchado said the reason she did it because she knows some people are hungry and she wanted to do something to help.
That's awesome.
She raised $321 through her selling her 3D printed designs, and with all the money, she helped to buy food for those in need. Corchado delivered the donations to the Open Pantry back on January 28th.
And she's 9?
She's 9.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, listen, any little bit helps, and I don't know how many times we've said it over and over and over again, that just because we do that event once a year doesn't mean that the Open Pantry doesn't need, help throughout the rest of the year, because you got a finite you only got a finite number of dollars that support the open pantry, and that only lasts till like what, March? That we do
usually.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, though, I mean, I love hearing those kinds of stories of people that like will organize something to help the open pantry, and then when a 9-year-old raises, I'll tell you what, $300 and some odd, $300 for a 9-year-old kid. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
And
Nice job, Anaya.
Yeah, $321. That's
awesome.
How many we figured that. How many? What did we figure out for how much a meal cost for somebody?
It's like 2 meals for $1.
Yeah,
or something like that. It's a lot of meals. That's very well done.
2 men were arrested for operating a drug factory in Bridgeport, according to Connecticut State Police. Troopers identified the suspects as 30-year-old Joel Huertas and 39-year-old Annabelle Torres Jr. State Police, FBI, DEA, and Bridgeport Police executed a search warrant at a home on Noble Avenue in Bridgeport on Saturday. They said the warrant was a result of investigation into illicit drug sales, specifically for fentanyl and crack cocaine. They believe the sales were based out of the basement of the home. Huertas was identified as a key figure in the distribution of drugs. Torres was also said to be involved. During the investigation on Noble Avenue, detectives said they found Torres walking on Shelton Street. They said he tried to run, but they caught him. Run, Charlie! Run all the way home, and don't stop until you get arrested by the DEA.
I've got a golden warrant.
Yeah. Torres was found to be in possession of a wax fold that contained a white powder and a 2-way radio. Investigators said they learned that the radio was used to contact Huertas. Huertas, meanwhile, was found hiding in the basement. Left his walkie-talkie upstairs on the kitchen counter. He didn't even know that the warning was coming.
I sure hope this doesn't damage Bridgeport's reputation. It is. It is a travel season.
Yeah, it is. Isn't it tourist season in Bridgeport right now?
I believe it is.
My sister went to the University of Bridgeport.
Wow.
Yeah, and was advised never to go outside the building.
For anything.
Safe campus, except when you go outside.
Yeah, well, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Police in Southington charged a man with impersonating a police officer at a local grocery store. According to the Southington police, 43-year-old Seth Tincher of West Hartford got into a fight in the parking lot of the Stop and Shop on North Main Street in Southington. Witnesses told police that Tincher said he was a Southington officer and gave a badge number. Tincher was arrested and charged with impersonation of a police officer and breach of peace. He was released on $50,000 bond and is expected to appear in New Britain Superior Court on Valentine's Day.
So Mr. Sphincter was not a police officer?
No, he was not. Mr. McOckener. Sergeant McOckener.
Gotcha.
Sergeant Barry McOckener.
And he's the guy that arrested Mr. Sphincter.
Yeah. What are you doing at a Stop and Shop, too? Are you busting people for Go points? I'm going to change these Go points over to gas. You can't do that. You have to use that as a coupon for your groceries. He's the Go Point police.
Well, there has to be someone in charge of all that.
I guess so. A man in Florida named Justin Sorsey was arrested for arson after he started 2 illegal fires in the some national forest. They were a lot bigger than a campfire. The Forest Service noticed the smoke and a slow simmering fire in grasses, brush, and trees. Justin admitted to setting the fires. He claimed he was conducting controlled burns, which he was permitted to do as a sovereign citizen.
Okay.
Well, listen,
who granted him that?
Well, he's a sovereign citizen. You can claim, anybody can claim to be a sovereign
I
citizen.
don't know if that gives you the right to start doing open burning.
According to the FBI, sovereign citizens are anti-government extremists who believe that even though they physically reside in this country, they are separate from the United States and don't have to follow the rules.
So I'm going to guess he probably hasn't paid his income taxes in a while, too?
Probably not. Not surprisingly, that didn't fly. He was cuffed and he's been indicted for committing felony arson on federal property. A court date has not yet been set, but... we need more people like that in this country.
To set fires to national parks?
No, taking things into their own hands. Obviously, you need a controlled burn. When you see forest fires happen, it's because forest fires are supposed to happen naturally, but we as humans try to prevent them because they can get out of control. But the problem is the forest floor builds up so much, and you need to burn some of that thicket off.
Yeah, I don't know, Steve. The bear told you that only you can prevent forest fires.
Yeah, but the bear also didn't realize that what he was doing was making the forest more dangerous.
The bear.
Yeah.
I think the bear knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, but you think about wildfires happen because of like lightning strikes and things like that. There's things you can't prevent. That's supposed to naturally happen, to burn off that roughage in order for it to regrow more forest.
But if a drunk guy is making s'mores out in the forest...
I wonder if he was drinking American or domestic, probably domestic beer.
Domestic beer.
Yeah. Causing a domestic issue among his fellow citizens.
In a national park.
Well, I guess if you're going to be a sovereign citizen, a national park is where the...
Then you don't really care.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be cloudy to start and then snow starting with 2 to 4 inches possible throughout the Pioneer Valley, and then a nice coating of ice to follow all of that. Winter weather advisory in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 35. It is 17 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock at 6:50, and AC/DC with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Winter storm weather, whatever the hell it is. Something, it's big. It's coming. It's 4 inches or so, and then we're going to see some ice and all that other good stuff, and then rain to top it all off because wash your troubles away with more rain.
Rock 102's got your big game hookup. You want to go to rock102.com and sign up for your chance to win. One lucky listener will get a $200 gift certificate to the Yard Tavern, a $100 gift certificate to Tudor House Liquors, and a Coleman Road Trip Excursion Grill courtesy of Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 59. We will choose a winner at random on February 7th, which is by my calendar, it is tomorrow. So you got to start getting on the stick here. Rock102.com, your chance to win the big game hookup from Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
When you eat dinner, do you eat it in front of the TV all the time?
Typically, yes.
Or do you sit down and in silence with no electronics around and have a conversation with your significant other?
Oh, no. We would never do that. But we would certainly watch television.
Well, you're with most Americans. Around 2/3 of Americans say they usually watch TV while eating dinner now. 63% do, compared to 41% who talk to the people they're eating with. Watching TV is not the only thing that we're up to at dinner. 28% often use their phone. 16% listen to music, 8% read, 6% make phone calls, and another 6% play video games while they're eating. 3% do chores. How do you do chores while you're
eat
eating?
At the same time. I grew up being told that you shouldn't talk with your mouth full.
Yeah.
Well, how am I supposed to have a conversation at dinner time when my mouth is full?
I don't know.
You want to have a conversation with me while I'm chewing down like sausages or pastas?
My dad was all about making sure the family all came together for dinner time. There were 7 of us all together. There were 5 kids and 2 adults. You sit down, you eat Dad's drunken barbecued chicken that was, their chicken leg quarters that were partially cooked, par-cooked on the grill. to a blackened crisp on the outside and blood raw in the middle.
Delicious.
And then that was always fun having those family dinners until he got so drunk that one night he flipped the entire table over and pinned my brother underneath it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
this is why I don't eat at the dinner table anymore.
Too many
PTSD. Yeah.
Too much trauma.
Yeah.
Well, listen, isn't it still nice that his intentions were to have the family sit around the table?
Yes, yeah. I call them drunken dreams. It's like the first couple of Bud Heavies make you wish for peace. Mm-hmm. And then by the 4th, 5th, and 6th, along with a couple of nips of Gilby's gin, makes you hate your family. It makes you start questioning, wow, this was a horrible idea. Yeah. Screw this.
Yeah, I mean, you bring people together, but then you break them by the end of the meal.
Yeah, I think we had more dinners that wound up on the floor because of his behavior than we did actually in our mouths or staying on the table for leftovers.
But did you talk with your mouth full? Or was your mouth
You weren't
always agape at what your dad was going to do next?
No, you weren't allowed to talk. And by the way, you couldn't because your mouth was so swollen from being slapped across the face.
Good family times, though.
Hey,
huh?
listen, you know what? These are memories. These are my memories.
Well, thank you
There's
for sharing
nobody
them
else's
here.
memories.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing with them, everybody.
Yeah, it's one of these things that when you have a turkey thrown out on Thanksgiving dinner because it was overcooked. Meanwhile, he was the one that passed out and fell asleep by putting the turkey in the oven, didn't tell anybody what time he put it in,
Right.
and then woke up in a drunken rage, wondering why we didn't take the turkey out.
Well, what do you want, Steve? You want it all? You want a moist, well-cooked turkey, or
Well,
do you want raw chicken?
He forgot to put in the little white thing the red thing, the white thermometer thing with the red
When
thing.
it pops when it's ready?
Pops up when it's ready.
Yeah. And yet, you survived it all.
I did.
With barely a scar.
I did. I've tried to propose to my kids, hey, maybe we can recreate some of these memories I had when I was a kid. Traditions carry on.
Yeah,
don't they?
it's the only way to carry them on.
Yeah, they politely declined.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
It's 6:55 at Rock 102.
Rock 102 is the expert of all things
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? As you may know, over the course of the last several weeks, I have talked at length about the rapidly escalating deterioration of the working relationship between the Miami Heat and its star player, Jimmy Butler. Over the last few months, Jimmy Butler has been suspended 3 times for his disruptive behavior that was intended to force the team into trading him somewhere else. And among the disruptive behaviors included missing a team flight, walking out of practices, and intentionally wearing colors associated with teams that he wished to be traded to. Yesterday, Miami finally ended this relationship by trading Jimmy Butler to one of the teams just before today's NBA trading deadline. Yesterday it was announced that Miami had traded him to Golden State as part of a multi-team mega deal. This trade sends Butler to the Warriors in exchange for Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, plus a projected top 10 draft pick in this year's draft. But that's not all. Golden State will also send Dennis Schrader to Utah, while Utah sends P.J. Tucker to Miami. Then Golden State will send Lindy Waters III to Detroit, and will be getting Josh Richardson from Miami. Of course, things weren't supposed to go that way. Initially, the Heat were going to send Butler to Phoenix in a deal in which the Suns would have sent Kevin Durant to Golden State. That deal fell through when Kevin Durant informed everybody he didn't really want to go there. So, in conclusion, let me just say that I would love to tell you all about the Celtics trading Jaden Springer to her for second-round draft pick 5 years from now in exchange for 1 second-round pick and swapping out of another one for this year's draft, but I'm far too exhausted from trying to explain how the Miami Heat needed 3 other teams to unload the biggest pain in the ass in their roster. After all of that, plus the Luka Doncic fiasco from a couple days ago, I just don't have the energy to start talking about everybody else's problems. I got all I can handle talking about one multiplayer mega trade at a time. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. What is the most disgusting thing you've ever had to clean up? I bet you could have used a Craftsman 12-gallon wet dry vac at the time. That would have come in handy. Now you can get one for just $80 at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware and pick up that nasty spill. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch. Springfield's Classic Rock at 7:08. And Aerosmith with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Winter weather advisory in effect right now. It's snowing already. We could see up to 4 inches possible, but that's not really the thing to worry about. It's the ice that's coming after that, and then the rain that will fall on top of that later on tonight. So, yay! Another New England weather day.
Today is a Thunderbird Thursday. Your chance to win tickets to the Thunderbirds on Saturday. It's the Springfield Isotopes game against the Providence Bruins. It's sold out, but we'll have tickets to give away probably sometime this hour.
I'm just reading some of these Ask Reddit questions. What's a conspiracy theory you'd love to be true? And the top answer is that there are hot, horny women in my area waiting to meet me. I thought that was a pretty good answer. But the other one, what's a smell? You can answer this one. What's a smell that instantly takes you back to your childhood?
A smell.
Yeah.
You know, that's a
293-1021. You can chime in on this if you want to.
Okay, a smell. Yeah. Vicks Vapor Rub is one of those
Yeah,
things that,
yeah.
that kind of takes me back.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I lost my virginity.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you supposed to use it for that?
she did. She had a little bit of a respiratory issue.
Oh, that's where
had to clean out the lungs. This helps with my lung butter. Play-Doh.
to use it for another reason, and boy, I got a hot seat.
Play-Doh was the number one answer. On
Oh, yeah, Play-Doh's another one.
fresh cut grass. It doesn't.
That doesn't take me back.
No, hey, we got a caller calling in.
Let's see what they got here. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning, David.
No, David's not here right now.
David's not here. Can we take a message?
How you doing?
Good. What's up?
The smell of a broken crayon.
Smell of a broken crayon.
Even like a fresh box of crayons has got a good hearty smell
I'm
to
like
it.
I'm 8 years old again when I smell that. It's crazy.
Even if they've been sitting in like a drawer.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The smell of broken
You,
crayons.
you never forget that smell of a box of crayons. Doesn't matter whether it's an 8-pack or that convenient 64-pack with a little sharpener in the back.
Yep. The sharpener was awesome.
Absolutely.
All
right. Well, thank you
thanks.
very much.
Thank you. We'll tell David you said hi.
Thank you.
All right.
David, bye.
Bye.
Rock 102. Who's this?
Dan.
No, Dan's not here right
Yeah,
now.
he's
How
not
can
here
I
right
help
now.
you?
Can I take a message?
Good one. You know that spring crisp air, like when spring's just like blooming, that's total childhood, man.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like the smell of just before a rainstorm. You ever get that smell?
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
boy. Oh,
Yep.
that takes you
Yep.
back. All right. Well, very good.
See, we're getting some. We're touching the inner souls of these people that are calling.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we
all
are.
right.
All
Okay.
right, thanks.
Appreciate the call. All right. Very nice. Rock Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this? I'm sorry. Who's this? The call's just not coming through. I gave up on her. I'm so sorry.
Sunday gravy. Are they talking about like the Italian?
The Italian tomato sauce.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's
The smell of plasticine.
Yeah. Plasticine had
what
a
is
smell.
that?
Well, plasticine was like I don't know. It was like It was a plastic product. I'm trying to remember what they used it for, but it was like it was everywhere back. Plastics were everywhere back in like the early 70s.
How about the smell of a Dakota Dodge truck cold starting in the morning and driving to a Shaw's to pick up donuts and orange juice? I guess these are kind of like personal, I guess.
You kind of have to break those down smell by smell.
I think we got another person on the line here.
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, man, it's Stash. How's it going?
Good.
man.
What's going on?
Hey, dude, I don't want to give away my shots, but the smell of a nice, crisp bag of schmokane brings me back to high school.
Yeah, boy. I'll tell you what.
High school. Huh?
Yeah.
You were doing nose beers all the way back then.
Were you wearing a lot of medallions at the time, or like a tracksuit?
Nagle, I'm going to tell you this. I'm the dude that calls you. You said I'm all messed up. I'm the guy that had to kill his dog and all that.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I ever did when I was 10 years old, me and my buddy Ray in his mom's bathroom. So, yeah, it wasn't a great childhood, but when I smell that stuff these days, it brings me right back.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what?
Good memories.
You and I should hang out so I can feel better about myself.
Oh, dude, yeah, and I'm fat and ugly, too, so you'll look great.
Oh,
man.
perfect. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, we all need that ugly friend to hang out with to make us feel better about ourselves.
Dude, hey, let's do it right after that chef segment we were supposed to do it.
Oh, yeah. Plans always made but never executed. I get it.
All right. Thanks for the call.
All right, brother.
All right. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, this is Andrew. I had something, a little unorthodox smell that brings me back to my childhood.
All right.
Okay.
Wild turkey 101.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a nice odor to it.
See, I had the Jim Beam and stuffing. That reminds me of Thanksgiving.
Now, is this,
family and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Of course.
now, is the stuffing still in the bird, or was it spilled on the floor with everything else?
This is how this would happen. My dad would like take out a loaf of bread like 3 days before Thanksgiving and leave it out in the air so it would stale up enough.
Right.
So he could start mixing it with celery and onions and all that other good stuff. But and that way, on Thanksgiving morning, you'd wake up to that smell along with like Jim Beam or whatever the alcohol was that he got the free bottle from Workday was.
Specifically for me, it's the wild turkey.
Yeah,
Specifically wild turkey. It has a distinct smell to
That
it.
does take you back. All right. Appreciate the call. Thank you. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Tommy from Enfield.
Hey, Tommy.
How
What's
about
up?
the smell of a good old fat pot seed burning? I haven't smelt a pot seed burning in over 20 years. What happened to that?
I don't know.
I don't know, boy. You
Brings
never smell.
right back to-
You never
brings
smell.
right back to
You never smell
history.
marijuana products anywhere in these days.
Shirts were destroyed. Ends and joints were just blowing apart. Thanks a lot. Have a great. Thanks for the remembrance.
All
Have a
right,
great.
no problem.
There you go.
Yeah, see, well, there was other calls.
There were, but I think George kind of put a stop to it.
The smell of a clear fall morning in the area of my elementary school. Again, these are more personal than anything, than other people could relate to.
Let's see here. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's the Hawkman calling.
All right, Hawkman. What's going on?
Are you guys still doing about that childhood smell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you used to smell?
Anytime I smell bleach, it reminds me of my childhood.
Bleach. Well,
Yeah,
Mom.
my father back in the 90s used to get perms. And every time he came home from getting a perm, it smelled like ammonia and bleach.
Your dad got a perm.
A lot of dudes used to get perms back then. You don't see that very often now, and that's probably for the best.
You know, thank God all that stuff back in the 90s, because anytime I smell bleach, it reminds me of my father. It drives me nuts.
All right, well there you go. That's a good smell. A good nostalgic smell.
Actually, we should ask him, what was the last thing you ever remember feeling?
Anger, I would think, after that comment.
Like touching, like a feeling. I mean, obviously you don't have the use of your limbs anymore. What do you remember feeling? What was the last thing you remember feeling?
The grossest feeling was, I can't say it on the radio, actually.
All right. Well,
Okay.
maybe we should. Maybe we should not ask you that question.
Well, you think about it. You can always text us at the Route 10 Tire listener line.
I can't use my hands back.
Okay, well
All
then you
right,
can use Facebook Messenger like you do every single day.
Oh, great! You gave away my surprise.
All right. Well, there you go.
Sorry to make all expose you completely. All right.
Old Spice. My dad had like 80 bottles of this stuff. Every Father's Day, every Christmas, every birthday, somebody would give him another like collector bottle of Old Spice.
Old Spice, British Sterling, Aqua Velva, High Karate, and what was the other one I was thinking of?
The car.
No, well, that doesn't take me back to my childhood. That takes me back to college when that was a
hot thing.
that was a
back
hot
then.
item
What about
back then.
Stetson.
Stetson, that's the other one.
Yeah,
that's the one that it makes you smell like a log.
I remember wearing Old Spice on my very first date, and the girl saying to me, "Hey, you smell like my dad." And I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
You
but,
probably smelled like everyone's dad back then.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
We
right,
got more.
We got more here. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl. What's up?
Nothing. I'm calling about the favorite smells.
Yes.
Or...
What is your?
Yes,
you're on the air.
right
What
now.
is your favorite smell, or your childhood smell?
Oh, fresh baked bread. I grew up next to the Dry Corns Bakery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, boy,
And
that's that does it.
Yes, it does. We used to sneak in there because they'd put it out back to cool off, take a loaf of bread, go grab a stick of butter, go across the street to the baseball field, and eat that wonderful, warm, smelly bread.
You know, it's those kinds of petty crimes that you never forget in your childhood.
It was fun, though.
I bet it was. I bet it was. All right. Well, thank you, Cheryl.
Look at all these people calling in weed and stolen bread and cocaine.
Yeah, like everything involves something that at one point was illegal.
I think we're all messed up in some way.
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, good morning, boys. It's Vince the plumber.
Hey, Vince.
Jesus.
Well, you're talking about smells and stuff. The best line I have for saying smells wise is your number 2 is my number 1. Don't forget.
You don't. Okay. All right.
He is a plumber, after all.
I know. I get you.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite
you
smell?
got it.
Is that your favorite smell?
Yeah, it smells like money to me.
I bet it does. I bet it does.
Have a great one, guys. Be safe out there.
All right.
All right.
Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Yeah, I'm Doug from Chickadee.
Hey, Doug. What's up?
What's up?
Hey, I'm calling about favorite smell.
Yes.
Yes.
Your childhood smells.
Yep, campfires.
Oh, yeah. Campfires. That
campfires.
was always a good one.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing better.
Well, I mean, there's things that are better, but that is one that I remember the old the smell of the camping jamboree.
You can say on the radio.
Yeah, what I said too.
You can't smell it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Sure. All right. You want to take more here?
Sure. Why not?
All right. What
We
the
got
heck?
nothing else to do.
That's the truth. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Eric.
No, Eric's not here right now. Can I help you?
Look, my name's Eric.
Oh, I see.
Well,
All right.
I didn't expect that.
All right. What's your favorite childhood smell?
That would be my babysitter's breast milk.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm glad we waited for that one. One more. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's Dave, the alarm guy.
Hey, Dave, the alarm guy. What's up?
So my favorite smell is when I'm working on a panel and it catches fire.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, it's
Electric-
that smell of everything burnt.
Electrical fires are, I think, a very romantic smell. I think people don't really understand that.
Guys, have a great day.
Well,
Hey,
how can we hire you if we need electrical work done in our homes?
If we know you're going to set the panel on fire
Yeah.
for your own benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, take one more. What the hell?
All right, one more here. Rock 102. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, this is Mike.
Hey, Mike, turn your radio down, could you?
Yeah, I did.
All right. What are you smelling?
Vitalis and Tears.
Vitalis.
What is that?
Vitalis is another like British Sterling type of knockoff.
Oh, Vitalis.
Oh, that's like Aqua Velva right there.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Vitalis.
And Tears. Where'd the
That's a
tears?
hair product. That's a hair product to make your hair look slick.
Oh, that's what it was. Vital. Why was I thinking that it was some sort of cologne or?
And what about the tears? Where did the tears come
Vitalis.
from?
Well, I had a dad much like Steve, so.
Oh, well, there you go.
There
Yeah.
you go. That's relatable.
I wish I had that breast milk problem that other guy had.
It's 7:21 at Rock 102. 7:34 with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Gary Rome Hyundai. Technicians get up to a $5,000 sign-on bonus right now. Learn more at GaryRomeHyundai.com/family. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
You were complaining about healthy Super Bowl snacks.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to do any of that.
I'm not going to do any of that.
But you don't have to complain about it. And if you don't feel like making anything yourself, there are plenty of businesses out there that can cater the Super Bowl party for you. There's a whole story online here from Channel 22. Catering businesses see sales skyrocket during the Super Bowl, and local spots are preparing for big orders. I told you about 7Bs yesterday. You can order up to 50 wings at a time.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, are these frozen wings?
No, they're absolutely fresh. There's not a freezer or microwave in 7Bs.
Is that a fact?
Yeah. And
Now, where's that located exactly?
At the corners of Route 10 and 202 out in Westfield, the friendliest staff in the Pioneer Valley.
Now, if I were to go there, are there any special instructions of what I might want to mention?
You want to mention that Steve Nagle sent you because you just might get something special for it. But not only, I mean, regardless of whether you mention me or not, you still got Chef Jeff, who's very clean. He washes his hands before he touches all that
that's
fresh
good.
ingredients, and then he cooks up all that stuff. It's and you can order burgers and appetizers, but really, I mean, the Super Bowl, you got to put your orders in though.
Sure. Yeah. Well, of course. You don't want to call that day and say, "Hey, can I get something?"
You know
We're
what?
not gonna have time for that.
They got over at Autumn Mist Farm out in Feeding Hills.
Right.
You can get the sausage. They got beef chorizo sausage.
Really?
Think about how good that would taste.
That
in
would
a
be
nice
good.
Dip.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You know what I always wanted to try?
What?
And I will bite the bullet one day and do it, but it's got to be warmer weather. The tomahawk steak. I really want one of those.
Yeah. I've
He's got them in the case over there.
I've seen them at the store a couple of times. I thought, man, how cool would it be to have a tomahawk steak and cooked out right in the grill? And then I thought, I don't got the time for that.
You don't have the time for that? What do you mean you don't have the time for that?
I mean, I have a time for a steak, but it's like I don't have the time to sit there and eat the whole tomahawk steak. But it does look delicious, though.
I thought, you can afford that steak if you can afford $86 dog food. You can afford a tomahawk steak.
It's a $69 to $70 bag of dog food,
which is only $10 away from $80.
Yes, but still. If the steak were coming in a 40-pound bag, that might be different.
My mind is still blown about that you spend that much on dog food.
Yeah.
It's a dog. My dog will eat his own poop or the trash.
Maybe if you fed him better food, he wouldn't have to go into the trash.
I buy the Taste of the Wild sometimes.
Right.
And he hates it. He doesn't want to eat it because he knows that the trash and poop taste better.
And what does that 40-pound bag run you?
This is why I don't buy it anymore, because it's too expensive. I usually go to Costco and get the adult dog food, which is just as good as any other thing for $35.
Does your dog agree with that it's just as good as the stuff he was getting before?
He eats it.
You're giving him no other choice.
Well, the other choice is the trash can. He's not getting any more of that.
Listen,
I can't believe that you waste your money on that.
Listen, I'm not wasting my money. I love my dog more than you do.
No, I don't think it has nothing to do with the love of the dog.
Oh, it has everything to do with the love of the dog.
I think it's a pretentious thing. I think it's like, well, I'm able to afford $69 dog food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be doing that. You driving by Great Horse every day when you're out in Handman going, one day I'll be like them and I'll be able to afford $90 dog food.
No, actually, if I joined them, I wouldn't have the money for $90 dog food.
That's true. What's a membership up there? Like $1 million?
I don't know. I don't think it's that much, but slightly more than I'm willing to pay. Even though I've asked, pleaded multiple times, where I would be more than happy to accept a lifetime complimentary membership. I think I would make an excellent ambassador to the place.
They're not going to do that.
Well, they haven't done it yet, have they?
It's not like we would be good. We would be good. We wouldn't be good spokespeople.
I'd be an excellent greeter at that place. Hello, welcome to Great Horse. How may I help you?
It's not Walmart. They're not checking receipts on the way out. It's a golf club, for God's sakes. A very nice one, to be exact.
I'm sorry. Can I see your scorecard? And then I take my Sharpie and put a little face on it and hand it back.
And then you always get that guy who's like, I'm not showing you my scorecard. You can chase me down if you want.
Lost your balls out there, huh?
Yeah. That would be kind of interesting if there was a person at the end of Great Horse checking receipts like you're at Costco, drawing little smiley faces on the scorecards.
And that's a part-time side hustle I'd love to have.
You could be that guy.
I'd be happy to.
I was in Walmart the other day, and there's that guy asking to check receipts.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, who are you chasing after? Somebody walks right by this guy.
He's not chasing.
There's no. I don't think you need any physical ability to do that job.
Well, do you have to stand?
This guy was standing.
All right. Well, that's physical.
Yeah, I know. But I guess that's the most physical part of that job, checking the receipts.
Well, you're not going to run onto the parking lot and tackle a guy because he's stole like a
I don't even know
bunch of apples.
Why they have those people there. Is it just like the intimidation factor? Like, we're watching you? Because you don't have like 3,000 cameras around the store to tell who took something anyway?
It's possible it's there for intimidation. Who's not afraid of a 79-year-old retiree with a smock?
I'm not.
Well, I didn't realize that you were such a badass that doesn't rattle you in some way.
The glitz and glam of Hollywood captures the attention of Americans starting from an early age. Beyond celebrities' Instagram stories and red carpet poses, there are actors out there paying their dues and honoring their craft in pursuit of a sustainable career or fulfilling sideline. Submitting to casting calls is a big part of that journey. Whether you're an actor or an aspiring one, you might be curious to know which movies and TV shows are casting roles near you. Backstage compiled a list, not Backpage.
Backstage.
Backpage is the one where that guy got caught up in Hatfield for picking up the hookah.
Yeah, he won't have the same problem on Backstage.
Compiled a list of project casting right now in Springfield and nearby cities and nationwide, which there's roles looking to be filled. America Down. They're looking. That's gonna. They're cast. Are they filming in Springfield, or are they just casting?
I believe they're just casting.
Well, I know that there's like a discount or a rebate you get for making a movie here in the Bay State.
Right.
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 So that's why a lot of production. That's why we've had all of those movies that have been made around here. And then that Robert Downey Jr. movie made up in Shelburne.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Mel Gibson movie made up in Northampton.
Actually, quite a lot of films are made out here in Western Mass. Palmer's been the source of film forever. People love filming in Palmer.
Ooh, this one I could do this one. They're casting a role called Dying Alone. It's a feature film. They're looking for a sadomasochist.
Okay.
Between the ages of 28 and 65. For $10 an hour.
That's totally worth it.
I could do that.
Sure you could. You'd be great at it.
They're looking for lead roles in a movie called A Four Time. And what's the other one? What was the first one they did? America Down.
Now, here's
They're
something.
looking for Liam or Lacey Davenport, a supporting actor, 5 to 12 years old.
Yeah, well, you're not going to qualify for that one.
No, but $30 an hour. Huh? These kids getting more money than an adult actor getting.
I'll tell you what, that's kind of exciting, though. I mean, you think about it, you go to that website, find out where the casting calls are. You're just a regular guy around Western Mass. You got nothing but free time in your hands. Next thing you know, boom, you're getting paid union scale to act.
I wouldn't be that bad.
I knew a couple of people that wound up getting roles as extras in John Hughes movies in Chicago.
Yeah,
a couple of people.
Really?
Yeah. One was in Risky Business at the big party.
Yeah.
And then another one was on the scene in Ferris Bueller. He was one of the kids in the bus.
Oh, no kidding.
You know when Rooney goes on the bus
yeah.
and he's all beat to hell? The guy that's sitting in the back of the bus with a hat in the back row.
A guy you knew.
Was a guy I went to school with in college. And man, did that guy just never let that go. I was in Ferris Bueller. Like, oh, really? Who were you? The guy in the hat in the bus. I knew the guy.
Actually, I know that my buddy Felix, who was who's a court officer in Springfield. He's now retired, but he was in that movie with, and I can never remember the name of the movie, but it was Christian Bale and that hot redheaded chick.
Redheaded chick.
Yeah, and he's in one of the most famous scenes. He's a security guard.
Uh-huh.
And it's just hey, that's the guy that used to order martinis over at the bar in Westfield.
Wow.
That's my buddy up there. I know him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. But we could have other local people, filling these roles. What about Mayor Dom Dom? He could do many number of roles.
I'm sure he's not going to want to be the sadomasochist in that one movie.
Life is like a box of chocolates. It's actually like a box of chocolate cannolis. They're only good if they're from La Fiorentina. You can't handle the truth.
There are other places that make good cannolis.
I see brain dead people. Talking about you, Bud Williams. Jesus is not the reason the season for the holidays, the Hanukkahs. You talking to me?
Yeah, they see he'd be great at that. He'd be awesome.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse, which is this MGM casino right here. We can raise all kinds of money for our friends and family here in the Springfield area.
I love it. I love it.
Why so serious? That's from The Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
He could be Batman. He is Batman.
In a way.
There's no place like home.
The Wizard of Dom.
These are the lines that he would be practicing. You can't handle the truth.
Do you want to do karate in the garage?
Yeah. Who wants to wax on and wax off right here in Springfield, Massachusetts? We can wax on, wax off over here on Bolin Way. Or we can all down to Bridge Street. It's up to you. And everything in between.
There you go.
Yeah. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be, there's a winter weather advisory. In fact, it's snowing right now. That snow will continue up to 4 inches throughout the Pioneer Valley. The real worry is the ice that's forming after that nice candy-coated glaze, and then rain on top of that to follow tonight with a high of 30 for today. It is 17 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Aw, yeah.
Maybe you've watched the TED Talk.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:53 and Blue Oyster Cult with Bax and Nagel on Rock 102.
It is going to be, there's a winter weather advisory in effect. It's snowing right now. Could see up to 4 inches, and then ice, and then rain, and just a lovely day in New England, and a high of 30 today. It's 17 right now in downtown Springfield.
All right, so a couple of things. Rock 102 has teamed up with the Springfield RV Camping and Outdoor Show to hook you up with the gear you need to go outside and go camping. It's a prize package that includes a 6-person tent, a travel pillow, 2 solar lanterns, 2 outdoor rocker chairs, a 45-quart cooler, an easy cot, and 2 sleeping bags. You can sign up at rock102.com for your chance to win. If you want to increase your chances of winning, come by the Springfield RV Camping and Outdoor Show at the Big E between February 14th and the 17th, where you can enter again and get 5 bonus entries. We'll choose one winner on February 18th, and we'll win Pat Kelly's camping gear from the Springfield RV Camping and Outdoor Show and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
I love going to those things.
It's a great event. We went a couple of years ago just to
Yeah.
look at other campers and how we could maybe upgrade at some point.
Yeah, I mean, we Camping World, I was up there a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
They had this, I mean, the thing is, it's like a mansion on wheels. But it's something you would park somewhere, though. I can't imagine driving that thing around all the place. It was a double decker with the loft in there and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But going to the camping show and seeing like those BMWs with the
Oh, I know.
it's like I'll never be able to afford anything close to this.
I think the last time we went there, just for laughs, we went into the most expensive camper.
Yeah.
They had, and it was we didn't spend anything close to it, but for ours, but we went into this thing going, oh my God, they could live in this thing year round.
But you got to remember though too. I mean, there's only like a finite number of things you can add to something of high quality that anytime we've had one of those campers that they've donated to us, it has to be lightweight. Because most of people are traveling with these things, unless you got one of them fifth wheels and a big giant pickup truck to pull it with.
Right.
There's only so much you can put inside of something in order to make it
a lot
of road worthy.
A lot of the things that come with those
I can't
things.
get the words out of my mouth, but you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but a lot of things that are inside a lot of those campers are replaceable.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to upgrade with what you already have, you can do that. But on the other hand, I got to tell you, it's owning one. It's the best, most cost efficient way of vacationing you can imagine. Is to have one. I mean, it seems crazy, but for what we spend, for the whole season to camp, is what you would spend in a week if you got like a beach house in Rhode Island.
Yeah, what were those vans back in the 80s that had the curtains in the windows? We need to go back to those.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately, the sex offenders have taken over that realm of the van. It used to be the white van. Now they've moved up. They've upgraded to the 80s curtain window vans. Like, we need to take that back from the sex offenders because of comfort cruising.
The level 3s have really sucked the fun out of putting a mattress in the back of a van.
They really have.
Yeah.
They really have. They've ruined a lot of things for us.
There was once a time when that wasn't considered to be really creepy. Now it's wicked creepy.
It's kind of like different jobs for hot chicks. You know what I mean? Like, hot chicks used to be like drug representatives and stewardesses, things like that. And then, it's the same thing with the sex offenders. You had the plain white van. Could you have not stuck with that? Why did you have to upgrade to the van with the curtains in the windows That was nostalgia right there, and you ruined it for everybody.
They had to move on to something else because all of a sudden now I got a white panel van. Everyone's just assume I'm guilty.
I wanted the van with the ladder on the back, but I can't have it now because then it's going to make me a stereotype. I don't want to be a stereotype.
Who does? Hey, this Saturday, the Springfield Thunderbirds are going to be taking on the Providence Bruins in the sold-out Isotopes game. It is a Thunderbird Thursday. We got a 4-pack of tickets to that game, 4 hats, 4 koozies, and again, sold-out Isotopes. Very, very popular game every year with the Providence Bruins. 10th caller right now at 293-1021 will win that Thunderbird prize package. Good luck.
And if I had to get one of those, if I was able to get one of those vans, then I'd have to grow my bald head out as much as I could, and then I'd have that ring because you'd have to because you're now fitting the stereotype. I look like I should be on a poster with that kind of haircut.
You'd probably be forced into wearing a far less quality shirt.
Yes.
Something that's a little bit more stained with mustard and other fluids.
And that shows my distended belly.
Yes. It doesn't actually cover your whole belly, just shows parts of it.
A flannel with no undershirt.
And very filthy sweatpants.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
It's 7:58. Good luck on Rock 102.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm Headquarters, before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of happy with the NFL just the way it is. They don't need to make the games any more interesting. There's no real need for expansion. They don't need to dink around with a schedule. They just need to stay in their lane and do what they do. And that is to provide 17 weeks of thrilling football excitement that entices the never-ending flow of reportable revenue. And that's it. Yesterday, just as the NFL Players Association announced their stance against Roger Goodell's desire to expand the season to an 18-game schedule, the NFL announced that they have added a game to their 2026 schedule that will be played in Australia. Now, this is an idea that's been floating around for a good long time. However, yesterday it was announced that the Los Angeles Rams will be the host of that game in Melbourne, Australia, 7,946 miles away from SoFi Stadium, where they play all their other home games. The date, time, and who the Rams will play that day has yet to be determined. Now, I can promise you this. No matter who they play or when, there is almost nothing worse than trying to figure out the 19-hour-long time delay between Melbourne and Los Angeles, apart from trying to figure out the 16-hour-long delay between Melbourne and here. Check this out. For us to watch that game at 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, kickoff in Australia would have to start at 5 a.m. on Monday. Pow! Think about that for a moment. Now, nobody in Australia is going to watch a football game at 5 a.m., but if they move it to 1 p.m. on a Sunday in Australia, then you wouldn't see that game until 9 p.m. the previous day. Well, folks, I got plans that night. Even if I don't have anything else going on, I'll find something. Because the last thing I need in my life is to manage unsolvable puzzles that require a proper understanding of time. And this sort of international nonsense is not the answer for me any more than adding on one more home game, which also shouldn't happen. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, the Craftsman 47-piece driver bit set from Rocky's. Look, I'm no tool expert, but I got to think a 47-piece set has got every driver bit you're ever going to need. Get it now for only $15 at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
Well, the snow is already coming down. We're going to see up to 4 inches of that, and then ice to follow, and then rain to top it all off, because who doesn't like a good wet down after you've had snow and sleet and everything else to go in between that. It's a high of 30 today. It's 17 right now in downtown Springfield.
Yeah, so everybody be careful on the way home today, because that's where it could get pretty sloppy. You know how people get when they forget how to drive in icy conditions.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever noticed that. People have a tendency to not know how to drive.
Was your mic on?
Yeah, I guess it was. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, well, I didn't think I said anything terrible.
Well,
well.
Yeah,
Okay, it's all right. Oh, well. Anyway, so there you go. We gave away those Thunderbird tickets. We got Joe Bonamassa tickets on the way a little bit later on this hour.
Oh, all right. Well, great. Our whole conversation was broadcast over the air. That's always a good thing.
Nah, it's okay. It's all right. It's all
I
good.
can't stand this time of year. I honestly, like the weather, and it's just like you can't do anything. There's nothing to do. You can't go outside. You can't enjoy taking the dog for a walk. You can't do a number of things.
To me, there's this. It's a really weird time of the year in the sense that, all right, football is ending, okay, and there's really nothing going to go on until say like March Madness. So like February, and part of March is kind of like a boring nowhere land. Like there's like as a sports fan, it's like this is like nothing. What am I going to watch? The NBA, hockey? Yeah, I need something more than that.
Yeah.
And it's a tough time.
Yeah, it's just the seasonal affective disorder where you get all depressed and whatnot because we're like stuck in this, indoor lockdown because, again, you can't do anything outside. It sucks.
Yeah, I know. Remember, was it like last week where like we were down like single digits?
Yeah.
Temperature wise. Yeah, my dog had to go outside, right?
Yeah.
Now, yeah, he's an old dog. If he doesn't go outside, he's going on the inside. And I don't want that. And neither does he, because I think he feels bad. But when the dog looks back at you and says, "You're kidding me, right? You want me to go in this?" I feel bad for the dog. I feel like my favorite bathroom here in the building is the one upstairs where because it's like a sauna in there.
Yeah.
One next to our office.
Yeah,
it's like wicked hot in that, and that's my favorite bathroom.
I know. Believe me, I know.
It's my favorite one.
I know it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But because of the lack of temperature control, having to go out in the bathroom in freezing cold temperatures, I feel bad for animals that have to put up with that.
Yeah,
I do. I feel guilty.
You feel guilty, do
I
you?
do.
All right. Why do you feel guilty?
Because I could never go to the bathroom outside as an animal.
Yes,
when in single-digit temperatures.
You know what? I wouldn't feel bad for your dog who eats $80 dog food.
Well, again, Steve, that's what premium food costs, and I don't spend $80. It's at least 70, 72 tops.
I'm getting distracted by these texts that are coming in because they heard part of our conversation that we were having off the air.
Yes.
We didn't swear or anything.
No,
did
we didn't.
Should we talk about what we were talking about? Because it was kind of funny, actually.
Sure, yeah, we can talk about that.
Well, I was saying, I said, I think this whole the Gaza Strip, taking over the Gaza Strip and building like resorts on it. I mean, because if anything's going to solve religious conflict after thousands of years, it's a homeowners association. I mean, it works down in the villages, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anwar, we told you no more pink flamingos. We are only allowed 2. We're going to get you. We're going to get you.
We've told you time and time again.
The best conversations happen off the air, which apparently we're on the air.
Well, listen, these things happen. I'm glad I didn't say anything, too disgusting. But I mean, yes, you're absolutely right. Thousands of years of strife and disagreement
Religious
could probably
turmoil,
be resolved.
yeah.
Could be resolved by resort hotels being put all over the place.
I like the homeowners association idea. I think
that's good too.
That's listen. If anybody can lay down the law, it's a president of a homeowners association. Yeah, we've talked about these before. Those homeowners associations and how you read all these stories about how ridiculous they can become.
Oh, yeah.
With the people who are like put in power of those things, they feel like they can just, do whatever you want. My mother lived in one of these down in Florida. It was a nice neighborhood. And I understand why you would want to do that because you don't want cars up on blocks in your neighborhood. A lot of people don't want to have to see all that crap, although That is I believe that's a town ordinance that you have to have one in the town of Huntington, where a homeowners association would never fly up in a hill town at all.
Probably not. No.
But I remember her getting citations for the stupidest things because of people who felt the need to pick on a woman in her 70s.
Well, for what?
Well, one of them was she forgot to change you couldn't have your sprinkler on after 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And I don't know whatever time of year it was, whether it would be the spring or the fall, but she forgot to set the timer thing because there was it was the sprinkler system on a timer thing. She bought the house like that. The thing came with all that stuff.
Sure.
And you weren't allowed to have the sprinkler on after 8 o'clock, but she forgot to change the time on when the time changed. So then she got a $25 fine for having the sprinkler on after 8 a.m. one day.
That's nonsense.
Because there was somebody, they almost immediately emailed you with the violation.
Right.
The other thing was, I remember getting a $50 fine when she wasn't even living there, when our family was going down to take care of the home periodically, the county had delivered new trash cans for the neighborhood.
Okay.
And then they put the trash can, you're not supposed to have the trash can outside, other than trash day.
Okay.
So one of the neighbors was nice enough to pull it up to the little cove inside the doorway. There was it was one of those old Florida style homes with the arch in the doorway and all that stuff.
Right.
Somebody tried to put it off to the side to help out with that, and I get an email saying that you're in violation of this, and they took a picture, and the picture showed the very little top of the trash can that you really couldn't see from the road, but somebody who was the hall monitor walking through the neighborhood.
If you were not in a condo association, just living in a regular neighborhood, and you had somebody like going to the town over minutia that meant nothing, because you're violating some ordinance. It happens. I know it happens all the time, but you really need to maybe mind your own damn business. Well, one of the things that I heard, and I'm sure people have heard this one before too. Certain condo associations don't want you to leave your pickup truck parked in the driveway.
Yeah, that was my mother's neighborhood.
Well, I've heard that in other condos as well. So you're telling me that you don't want some guy's $90,000 Denali sitting in a driveway, but his rusted out Buick Roadmaster family truckster with the wood grain option is perfectly acceptable.
That's what I'm saying. The rules don't really match up with what they're supposed to be. Now, you take a place like Florida, you got all these people with the giant tires on the truck or what have you. I think that's what or the guy with the truck nuts hanging off the back.
Yeah.
The thing that looks like a pair of testicles.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I can see that, but if you're paying taxes and you're paying all of this money to have a truck like that on, you should be able to have whatever the hell truck you want.
I'll tell you what. I mean, buying a good pickup truck is a lot of cash.
Well, I mean, and look at all the money that these people put into these things to lift them up and do all these things. Yeah, I mean, it's a douchey-looking thing, but that's your right to be a douche if you want to have a truck that looks like that.
I'm sorry, in our condo association, this is a douche-free environment.
But my brother, who had a regular pickup truck, went down to visit, parked his truck in the driveway, and by the end of the week, there was a citation for $80 because you were parking a, quote, commercial vehicle in the driveway. And I'm like, what are all these people? You can't fit these things in most of those garages down there. So what do these people do?
Was it really a commercial vehicle?
In Florida, every pickup truck is labeled they have commercial plates on them. So it's labeled as a commercial vehicle.
Which is stupid.
Which is very stupid. But it's like, what? Do you expect everybody to have a Prius? You know what I mean? It just doesn't match up to what, the lifestyles of people especially, people drive different things in different parts of the country. There's a lot of pickup trucks down in Florida because a lot of them go mudding and doing everything else.
Well, wait till Gaza gets a load of this arrangement.
Yeah, you know what?
They're going to love it.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to settle scores. You got
to put someone in charge of it.
Listen, you two groups of people have been fighting for thousands of years. A Hilton Garden Inn right here on this very spot is going to solve everything.
One with a water park attached to it or something. That should solve everybody's problems.
Yeah. What about what was a Great Wolf Lodge right here? I mean, everybody can come together with a great water park. Peace in the Middle East, all done by a Six Flags.
All you need is a big stack of rubber tubing and a lot of chlorine, and all of a sudden, there's peace in the Middle East.
All right. You know what? I see your tensions are high. Go calm down in the lazy river over there.
It's 8:22 at Rock 102. Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:28, and Tom Petty with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Dan Brown will have the full winter weather advisory forecast for you.
This week on Baxi's Musical Podcast, my guest has been Tex Mosley from the band Neverland Ranch Davidians. Their brand new album, their second one, called Shout Out on the Mountain, comes out tomorrow. There's a great conversation about a guy who's been involved in music for an awful long time and is getting a lot of notice off this record, and even in the last one, too. Next week, my guest is Hugo Burnham. He is the drummer from the band The Gang of Four, whose 1979 debut album, Entertainment, is considered one of the top 500 albums of all time, according to Rolling Stone, and one of the top debut albums of all time. That's also according to Rolling Stone. Plus, their final tour is going to start in Boston in April, on the 20th of the Crystal Ballroom. He is also a professor at Endicott College in Beverly. Really interesting guy. I've had him on before. That starts on Monday on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, the Rock 102 YouTube channel, rock102.com, and on the app. It's all brought to you by Metro Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram at Chicopee, and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
Listen, we got some really hard-hitting news coming up, and we'll talk about it after the break.
It's 8:29 to Rock 102. 8:32 with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102. It's time for news. It's brought to you by Gary Rum Hyundai. Technicians get up to a $5,000 sign-in bonus right now. Learn more at GaryRumHyundai.com/family. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. It is a mess out there, so slow down while you're driving. And if you don't have to go out, I wouldn't recommend it because we're going to see some ice later on after the snow ends, and the winter weather advisory goes into all the way up until 7 o'clock tonight, which would have been the start time for the doors opening at the Shortstop Bar and Grill comedy show for $20, but that has since been postponed. We are doing that now on the 20th during school break week, which I was, some guy poo-pooed on that going, everybody's going to be gone for winter break. That's not true. There's a lot of people, school teachers, who said, I'm glad you're doing that because I don't have to go to school the next day, so I can come out to the $20 dinner and a comedy show.
And not everybody who has that week off is going out of town. Sometimes people, just because of different financial situations, do the staycation. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, I think we're overreacting. I mean, we're from New England. Snow, ice, we're used to that. I mean, we come from the land of the ice and snow. From the midnight sun where the hot springs flow.
You write that down.
I will.
That could be a hit song if you put some tunes behind it.
You know, I know that some of us want to drive our ship to new lands to fight the horde and sing and cry, Valhalla, I am coming.
Is that what the words are?
I'm according to Genius.com.
I don't know. I heard it a different way.
What did you hear?
I don't know.
That's pretty close.
Come to the land of the ice and snow. That was the only line I know from that song.
Gotcha.
It's not my favorite. I don't like that song.
You don't?
No. That's not
I like that
Led Zeppelin. I just don't like that.
I like that better than the ocean. I don't like the ocean very much.
What? You done full already on all stadium 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually 6 that he's counting to.
Okay. Yeah, no, not that one. Yeah.
Here's the hard-hitting news from 22 News. Some of our biggest snowstorms have occurred in February. Really?
You don't say. This is my first time in a New England wintry environment? Do tell.
Historically, some of the biggest snowstorms and blizzards we've seen here in Western Mass have occurred during the month of February.
Did you know that the weather in New England tends to get cold in December?
I had no idea. No idea.
They also say that by the time spring rolls around, wintry conditions tend to dissipate.
This is news to me.
Well, happy we can help you.
We had some cold weather this winter with ice forming on the Connecticut River, but we haven't seen a lot of snow except for a few small piles. There's not much snow on the ground in the Springfield area right now, and usually by this time of year, we picked up quite a bit more snow.
That's that's not true.
That's not true in the last, 10 years, probably?
Yeah, we've actually avoided a lot of the big, heavy snowstorms.
So far, this winter, when it comes to snow, we're below average. We have 13.2 inches on the season. That's what they want you to believe. Typically, this time of year, we're closer to 30 inches on average. So we're pretty far in snow deficit right now. That's according to 22 News Storm Team meteorologist Chris Buzakis. Whatever. Did you ever have a Buzakis party?
I never did.
No?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Never even thought about it.
How do you think his hairstyle gets like that?
Okay.
In the past, some of our biggest snowstorms have occurred during the month of February. Huh.
I never knew.
There was the blizzard of 1978 that paralyzed the state for days.
Oh, that was the big one, boy. I remember that.
That was almost 50 years ago. So why are you saying that most of the snowfall happens in February when it really typically hasn't in the last 10 years?
Because there's never been a snow event quite like 1978.
In 2013, another powerful February blizzard hit Western Mass on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. I remember that. That was the roof rake rage. Remember?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Roof rake. The cleanup from that storm lasted for days. Some other big February storms included February 15th through 17th of 1958. Oh, I remember that like it was yesterday.
Oh, my grandparents used to complain about that one until they saw the big one in 1978.
February 5th and 6th in 2001, and February 17th and 18th in 2003. It's kind of a dumb thing to say that you have all this snowfall in February when we haven't had that much snowfall in February again in like 10 years.
Well, you know what's going to happen tonight. There will be some reporter, and I'm not going to point fingers because who knows who it's going to be, who is going to show everybody not only how deep it is by putting a yardstick into the snow and ice.
Yeah.
They will also pick up the snow with their hands, their gloved hands, to show you what snow looks like on camera.
Yes.
You can put money on it. Somebody is going to do that today on local TV, as if none of you have ever seen a yardstick, a measurable depth of snow, or what snow looks like.
I have never seen that before.
It happens every year.
Oh, they get a snow bunny out in front of the DPW yard. Watching all the snow plows get all ready.
See, that would be kind of a fun one to watch.
But as we heard the other day, the snow plows in Springfield weren't out when they should have been. Remember that guy driving down Sumner Avenue?
Yep.
Said it was like a snow nightmare because the roads hadn't been plowed yet.
Well, they'll get to it. They eventually. I mean, now you can go on Sumner Avenue, no problem. Well, for now.
You know, I don't understand how that works. Why some areas are better than other. Is it because of the lack of workforce, the lack of plows? Because every time, the Mass Highway or whatever they're called now, DOT, whatever the name of the organization is that takes care of the state highways,
right?
They're usually pretty good. I mean, Route 112 in Huntington, which you would think would be like a snow-covered ice skating rink, is actually very well sanded and salted, and the things are taken care of. And I don't usually have a problem getting to work.
Well, every city and town does have a budget, but they're allowed to go beyond that budget. They're allowed to deficit spend. Early storms like this, say let's hold back and maybe we'll get a worse storm later on. Eventually they get around to it. The biggest problem in Springfield isn't necessarily the major roads, but in a big snowstorm, all those smaller side streets and private ways.
Yeah.
Takes days sometimes. There's a lot of streets in Springfield, and there are.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about those. I'm
There
talking
are
about-
limitations on how many people actually have plows, whether they're private guys helping them out helping the city out.
But I'm talking about the main roads. Like a guy the other day was complaining about Sumner Avenue. I mean, that's a major thoroughfare. So wouldn't that be better plowed than, say, the side street?
We'll get into it. We'll get around to it. If everyone shows a little bit of patience, I'm not going to let the snow pile up on Sumner Avenue all the time. There's other streets too. There's Boston Road. There's Page Boulevard. There's St. James Avenue. There's Main Street. There's Belmont and Dickinson and Wilbraham Road and
all of those.
Union Street. There's Chestnut. All kinds of streets they got to get plowed.
I guess so. Crayola is bringing back 8 retired crayon colors in a limited edition collection.
How
It's
exciting.
the first time in the company's 122-year history that it's done this. The returning colors are Dandelion, Blizzard Blue, Magic Mint, Mulberry, Orange Red, Violet Blue, Lemon Yellow, and Raw Umber.
I've always
Umber
wondered
was-
what happened to the raw umber.
I think we have a plow expert on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Let's find out.
Rock 102, good morning. Who's this?
Yeah, well, Roosevelt right now is an ice rink. I'll tell you that.
Roosevelt? Yeah, well, that'll get cleared. Don't
They
you
haven't-
worry.
They haven't put nothing down over here.
You didn't put your skates on your car this time of year? Everybody's supposed to do that. You're supposed to do that before the first
I
snowfall.
forgot.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, just
All right.
a little bit of patience. They'll get it. Anyway,
I'm
okay.
just trying to piss off the DPW again.
Sure, it's easy to do. Anyway, so
Well,
raw,
they're easy pickings. is
so
what they
raw
are.
umber's coming back.
Yeah, raw umber is. Oh, yeah, you want to change the subject. Okay, I see. Yeah, raw umber is coming back. For some of them, the first time they've been in stores in 35 years.
Is that a fact?
Yeah. Fans will they get colors in a limited edition colored pencil pack and marker pack. They hit the store shelves this spring and will be available throughout 2025. What about Sunburnt Ego? They have that. Depression denim?
Yeah.
Why
And-
can't we have real colors that
Like-
reflect
like
the people of the
loneliness.
country? Ghosted gray.
Yeah,
You're trying to find that hot date, but he ghosts you at the last second.
My favorite color is sadness.
I like sadness.
Yeah.
Sadness is a pretty good color. What about expired milk white?
It looks white, just
Yeah.
chunkier.
I think we have more calls coming through.
Oh, boy. Okay. Rock 102, good morning. Who's this?
It's Chris. I live
Okay.
off Sumner Ave, and they never, ever plow that crap. I
Never?
always go through Chicopee. Right now, Chicopee's probably all down to the pavement. Why can't we do it right, ever?
I don't know. They do what they can. I mean, I know that the city has priorities. They'll get out there, though.
Yeah, I hope so. You guys have a good day.
Yeah, right. There you go.
I heard recently the people of Chicopee referred to as Chickabillies, and I can't get that word out of my head now.
Yeah, I've heard Chickabillies. I've heard Chickabama. I've heard, I've heard that. Those kinds of
Chickabilly.
monikers.
I think that's a good one. It's better than saying Bay Statans or Springfieldians or whatever. Chickabilly, I think, is a good moniker. Don't you?
Well, I mean, I don't want to, cast a negative spell on the great city of Chicopee. There's so many wonderful things to see and do in that town.
Springfield's number one problem is they don't pre-treat the roads. That's on the Route 10 Tire listener line.
Okay. They don't
Well, how you gotta pre-treat the roads?
Yeah, how are they going to do that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you could put down. It was a. I remember reading Milwaukee was trying this thing out with pickle juice. They were taking pickle brine because
Yes.
it's got salt in it, and it's a natural, kind of a natural snow melting ingredient.
Sure.
But can you imagine the whole city of Springfield smelling like pickles?
That's not its typical smell. Usually, it's a combination of Bondi's Island and weed.
Yeah, there's a lot of weed.
It's a lot of wafting going on in the city.
It's too much. It's just too much. Like I said, I don't use it anymore for now. But I'm a kind of guy that would actually like the smell of weed. But when it's kind of like too many cigarettes.
When you're not doing weed, it's a pretty gross smell.
Yeah,
kind of like if you're not.
But even if you are doing weed, I can smell it. It's just it's pungent.
I can usually smell it from your car as you're driving away.
Me?
No, not you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just speaking in general terms. But I mean,
it's
it's always amazing to me how many people are smoking it while they drive.
Oh yeah, that's a rite of passage here in the Bay State.
And I realize there's no real test to see how impaired you are as a result of it. But I don't believe you're supposed to be smoking weed in the car while you drive.
Hey, Bax, I bet Crayola won't bring the flesh color crayon. Remember that crayon? It was a shade of white, and people were very upset.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. I never understood the white crayon. Why do we have that?
A white crayon?
The white crayon.
Well, because construction paper comes in all different colors, and you could always color on construction paper, and not everybody was... I'm sorry, you and your supremacist school you went to that only had white paper. We had all different kinds of colors of construction paper at my school.
I'm sure you did, Steve.
Where'd you go to? Proud Boys Elementary, huh? What was that?
No, I went to a public school like everybody else. But, most of the times when we had to color, it was on white or manila-colored paper. Manila.
What is that?
It is a city in the Philippines.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And they have no white paper in that in the entire islands.
We had but like orange construction paper and blue construction paper and all that other good stuff. That's where a white crayon would show up on. You can't dismiss the white crayon.
I'm just saying it's the least used crayon in the entire box.
But it's still necessary.
It's in the way.
I guess so. All right, I'm done talking about any of this stuff. It is going to be. There's something about today with the weather. I just don't.
It's a blah day.
It's a blah day. It sucks. It sucks outside.
It's not that great inside either.
No, well, especially here with you.
It's too wet to go out. It's too cold to play ball.
Yeah, there's an old country song: too hot to fish, too hot to golf, and too cold at home.
Right.
I thought that was always a great set of lyrical.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
Because he can't go home because his wife left him. It's too cold there.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Whew. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today. It's going to be a winter weather advisory in effect until 7 o'clock tonight.
If Dave Coombs is doing anything this week.
What's your favorite white crayon story? We're going to get 4 inches of the white stuff today.
It's also going to snow.
There's a fun fact about a Rolling Stones song coming up your way next. It's 18 in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news I reckon with that.
Munson Savings Bank.
Classic Rock, it's 8:54. And the Foo Fighters of Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
Winter weather advisory in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. 4 inches of snow possible throughout the Pioneer Valley, but the ice is the thing that you got to worry about. That's going to be happening after noon today. And then rain on top of that tonight. So it's a lovely day in New England.
I think we should probably reiterate that tonight's comedy show at the Shortstop is been postponed because of the weather.
Yes.
So, I mean,
if you want to I already put the message out, but nobody answered me yet. If you want a refund, let me know if you paid for the tickets via Venmo, or you can just hold on. I'll just hold on to it until you can come back on the 20th. It's up to you. Either way, there's no sweat off my back. I can refund you in 2 seconds.
Listen, if you're so hard up for your $20 back, fine.
Well, $20 is $20, bro.
But yeah, I understand that. But you've given an option. You got plenty of time to rearrange your schedule for the 20th, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I say, forget the refund. Hold on. Go on the 20th. You'll have yourself a great time.
All right.
That's going to be my guess.
Figure it out that way. You can.
Hey, Joe Bonamassa is going to be at the Premier Theater at Foxwoods on Saturday, March 1st for an 8 o'clock show. Going to be a great show. Bonamassa is unbelievable and always does a great performance. And we have tickets to that show that could be yours to the 10th caller at 293-1021. Good luck to you. Joe Bonamassa tickets on the line from Rock 102.
Let's do it!
8:56 on Rock 102.